Josip is head of digital customer engagement, and lately his focus has been on adopting cutting-edge paradigms like omni-channel engagement and hyper-relevance, ensuring unparalleled connectivity and resonance with the customer base. This sounds so beautiful, Josip. Luka Stepinac, our own Mr. Data, currently leading the cross-data engineering team and consulting clients in the field of modern operational data governance with focus on data ownership and data contracts. So, modern data governance is getting traction, which puts business value in its focus. And we will discuss how this modern approach to data governance helped Croatian Telecom, where Josip comes from, to address existing pains and starts generating business value. So guys, please share the story.
Okay, let me start with a short introduction on business value, why we are doing this. So, data governance is quite a boring topic. I mean, nobody in the right mind would want to deal with that for no particular reason. And actually, we tried that in the past. We tried every year. We start another project, and every project fails without real business value. Now, given the moment that we are in now, we have been doing, all of us, digital transformation now for years, and AI transformation just started. Where did this bring us at this moment? So whatever industry you are working on, you are working for, your product at this moment is probably the app. If you are working for banking, the product is the app. In telco, product is the app. Travel industry, product is the app. So all of us, through this digital transformation, actually started producing apps, and every industry is a software development industry at this moment. Where did this bring us? That actually now all of us are present on customer smartphones, and all of us are fighting for the attention of the same customer constantly. The relevance for the customer, that actually messages our communication toward the customer that are relevant to him, it was always an important topic. At this moment, it is the crucial topic. It is the prime ingredient of success. The one who gets the customer attention will be the one who will emerge victorious, especially after the AI transformation. So what it means being relevant to the customer, meaning, you have a lot of probably apps on your phone like me, dozens, hundreds. Whenever you receive irrelevant communication from the app, you first either give it a bad review, or you silence the notifications, or you remove the app. So how to avoid it? You need to be relevant, to always send the right message to the right user at the right moment so that he feels that there is a value in using your app. Apps that succeed in that are actually the winners in this game. So our customers use this app. 76% of our customers on a monthly basis are now using this app. It has a dashboard. Every time the customer opens the app, he is looking at the same dashboard. Something about his services, his bills, he can buy add-ons, additional gigabytes, whatever. Every time the same thing. But now the customer context is not always the same. Whenever he opens the app, he has a reason for opening the app. He has some intent to open the app. Those reasons can be different. Now I listed just several of them to give you the picture. That customer can be in roaming in some other country. And when he opens the app in that other country, I can guess his intent. He needs information on roaming, or he needs additional gigabytes, or he wants to check usage consumption in roaming. So I want to change this dashboard in his context, to have a different view, that the customer feels that I understand him. I understand he needs, that app is not the same in this context. Also, it can be a different scenario, that customer has hit a usage limit. In my data, I know, in my backend systems, I know that he has reached a usage limit. He is opening the app. I know exactly why he is opening the app. I mean, I can make an educated guess and again adjust the dashboard for that situation. Adjust the dashboard so that the customer knows that I'm taking care of him, that I'm relevant to him. Also several others. If I have a service outage in customer area, I know how to communicate. If I have customer with a new subscription now open in the app, I know what he wants. He wants to onboard, start using the new service that he bought. So these are the things, and of course, several hundreds and thousands of other scenarios and combinations of those scenarios that can happen. And we have a lot of them solved today, and all of them are solved traditionally. You know, you have an IT project, we have an idea, let's get the data, let's define data sets, some new API, some new tralala, and there's a 3 to 6 months project to solve one of these problems. And this data is not needed only for one purpose. We need that data for all the other purposes. Maybe we want to launch service later, maybe start billing, maybe whoever. Any of these situations actually can lead to several actions on our side, and every one of them is a separate IT project. And every time we define such data set, we define the meaning of that data, which can easily be misinterpreted in any other scenario, in any other need. So right interpretation of that data that we have for a customer is actually a huge pain point. Now, something like date of activation. You know, what is exactly that date? Is it the date that we started billing, the date that we activated on the network, the date that customers start using? We easily misinterpret that data, and we actually fail on being relevant to the customer, at least fail on time in this particular example when we are relevant. We are still using a lot of batch processing of data because in our traditional way how we solve problems, we solve something, if that data was needed for monthly report, that we didn't do any real-time data streaming or anything, we did data batch processing. And now the same data we need in real time. Now we need to move from batch processing to real time to have the same data, nothing is different, but just for another purpose, I need it in different timing. And fetching that data might be extremely slow, especially unacceptably slow on digital channels. When you open the app, you know yourself, and request some data and wait for more than 10 seconds, it's totally unacceptable. Customer will close the app. So we need to be able to fetch the data as fast as possible. Now, which action have we taken so far to solve these problems? First, we are going to cloud. Okay, different versions of PowerPoint have different behavior. We are moving to cloud. We are moving to cloud to achieve scalability and accessibility of the data. We are producing terabytes of data in very, very fast. You know, we have millions of customers using services. Every trigger is stored somewhere. Every business event is stored somewhere. We are also doing, as I said, batch to real-time streaming, so that every piece of data that is produced anywhere by the customer, is it on the network or in any interaction with the customer, he opened the app, he visited our T center, he called our call center, everything streamed in near real time as possible. And also we started with several use cases of AI utilization, implementation on some use cases at this moment, you know, just to, sometimes it's to test what we can do, sometimes it's very good implementation. I have one of them maybe for the next squad. And actually what we learned with AI, you know, traditionally when you deal with the data, you have this expression garbage in, garbage out. With AI, if you feed AI with garbage, you get that garbage multiplied several times. Now, you have a machine that makes decisions based on garbage and is multiplying that garbage. So we need to absolutely ensure the correctness of that data and timing of that data, interpretation of the data, Otherwise, AI will make all the bad decisions. So there is no way. So far, we could somehow work around it and get away from it. Now, with feeding AI with that data, there is no running away. You need to have correct data at the correct time. So all of this story, this is like a business story, actually drive us to the main enabler that we have to do, is actually data governance, meaning that every piece of data about the customer produced anywhere in our systems by the customer using our products, so analyzing behavior of the customer or customer interacting with us, we need to define strict and really understandable data structures. Each piece of data, what it means, how to interpret the data. And we definitely need something that we always kind of avoided is data ownership, because we always found a workaround around it. This time we can't do it. We actually are now using that data in real time to make a decision how to communicate to our customer, and that data needs to be absolutely in line with all the things that I already said. We chose CROZ for this. CROZ is a company that we are using actually exactly for things like this. So for feature development, we always have some mostly Indian developers, when you have a lot of features that need to be delivered in a short period of time and cheap, of course. This is a project that actually needs, we started from proof of concept. It needs thinking, it needs proving how to do it properly, how to make it live in the organization for a longer period of time. It's not just a one-time project. And CROZ is here the best partner that we are typically actually engaging in such projects. So I'll now give Luka to tell you more about actually what we did in the past several months.
Thank you. So thanks for sharing the motivation to start with the data governance initiative. I will try to run through the rest of the presentation to make up for some time. And before I dig into details of data governance steps, I will try to give you a rough definition of what data governance is. It's a huge field. It lies in the heart of the data management discipline, which is very, very wide. It covers all the different topics of data management. And data governance is a piece that tries to connect all the dots and give you a framework of how to manage all these aspects of data. So the aspects of data you have, get a strange font here also. These aspects of data include managing the availability of data. So you need to have your data when and where you need it. You need to have data like Josip said, this data must be of a great quality. So there are different aspects of quality you need to ensure. There are ways to do it. And you need to take care of security. Of course, you have to grant access to these data sets to people who really need to use it. So data governance is really not a new term. It's been on the market for decades, actually. But I think it's fair to say, from today's point of view, that these first generation data governance was really kind of passive, bureaucratic data governance, and it was more oriented towards controlling and putting some measures just to prevent some unwanted actions happening with the data in your organization. And it really wasn't oriented to delivering some specific business value. It was kind of one size fits all. And you know that without having some business value for the organization, the initiative cannot hold for a long period of time. So this is where the new modern data governance comes in. So in the last couple of years, there's been a significant traction in the market with new tools, new concepts, and new mindsets that puts the business value within the data governance to the first place. And this data governance tries to understand where the pieces of data governance can fit within your business process and deliver some value. So we think that everyone should approach implementation of data governance from two perspectives. One perspective is the so-called socio-technological, which is basically all about setting up a framework within which you will iterate business cases and implement data governance pieces where it fits best. So within this perspective, you define data governance team, you define data governance framework and roadmap, and you set up a data governance community, which is very important, which is a group of people that like to share knowledge and like to evangelize business value coming from data governance initiative. And the other perspective, so-called business IT operational one, is where you actually execute this business use cases within this framework. So we like to always start with some kind of proof of value before scaling to the rest of the organization, because you need to, it's like a proof of concept. You need to understand if this, what you're trying to do, will really bring value to the rest of the organization. And if it does, it's easy to scale to the rest of the organization. So how to begin with such a project? Of course, you need to set up a core team. You set up a data governance team, and it would be really cool if you could have on this team some powerful people. But not only powerful in terms of hierarchy within the organization, but also willing to change, willing to evangelize this business value, and willing to make some cultural and mindset shifts within the organization. So we had luck that in Croatian Telecom, within Josip's team, we had people like director of controlling, we had director of customer value management, we had head of B2B, we had head of IT, head of data team. So all these people have felt that this data governance initiative should and could help them, and they were all in and pushed this initiative forward. So what we did is we defined one business use case that will be the showcase for the rest of the organization to prove that the data governance can actually deliver some value. So how do we do that? Probably all of you, or majority of you, have already heard about the event storming workshop. For those of you who haven't, it's a workshop format that is really cool for bringing in a lot of people in one room and having them discuss the details of some topic. In this case, this was a business process. So we chose one business process that's actually a data flow that tries to run through the organization and see how the activation of a mobile subscriber is calculated on some kind of report sitting in a BI system. So it's a very complex process. It takes into account 10 plus transactional systems. There can be different points where customer can be activated, subscriber can be activated, and it's a challenging process, and we use this event storming format for this. The value of this is that you have people from across the organization sitting in different organizational units, and then they start to talk to each other, and they start to understand the different parts of business processes they haven't been aware of. And it's really cool for breaking silos and starting enabling communication between these people from different parts of organization. So it's basically a wall full of colorful sticky notes. Each color has its meaning. I don't know, yellow ones are activities, red ones are roles or actors, so you define the standards. But I would like to focus more on the blue ones, and these blue ones were the pains. So people, when they were describing the parts of the process, also stated what pains currently do they have in their day-to-day jobs. And you take these pains and you go and analyze them, and then you try to find some piece of data governance, some element of data governance, and try to address this pain in this business process. And this is where this business value comes out. I will give you an example of this. So we had really a huge amount of these pains. So it's just one business process, okay? It's a complex one, but there are a huge amount of pains. So you need to start somewhere. What do you do with these pains? It's logical to have some kind of grouping of those, okay? So we group those pillars, categorize them according to this assessment pillars: process policies, people, technology, and data quality. And then it's basically a Miro board where you tag these sticky notes with different categories, right? And then you introduce these painkillers. In this case, these were data governance elements we chose, and we chose data ownership, data contract, business glossary, and data lineage. So we think that these four would be most worth implementing. I will run briefly through the definitions of data ownership and all these others. So data ownership is basically the most important one, because it's cultural, it's organizational, and it's all about putting responsibility in hands of people that are really the best for these data assets. So they will take care of data quality of some kind of some data set. They will take care of security, granting people access, not in technical manner, in a definition manner. And they will understand the meaning of this data. Data lineage is actually a documentation and visualization of a flow of data from source system to consumers. So it could be reports, BI, some AI models, and so on. Business glossary, I think it's self-explanatory. There was one good example of how important it is to define these terms and have them centrally available within the organization. Because when we analyzed this process, we gathered 5 different definitions of what a mobile subscriber actually is. And each one was correct, but it was coming from the different parts of the organization, and they were measuring this in a different way, and then they were arguing why these numbers are not the same. So this is important, and data contract is the 4th puzzle, which is basically fits in the wider concept of data mesh. Our friends from Scania will talk more about just after this presentation. And it's basically a specification or agreement between producers of data and consumers of data of how this data set being shared across the organization needs to look like from different perspectives. So once you get together all these pains categorized according to these pillars, you can see where the majority of problems lay. So in our case, it was the most within the processes and policies area of this business process. And when we go to the other categorization of painkillers, of these data governance elements, we observed that by introducing data ownership and data contracts, we could address the majority of these pains. So this is how we started. Data contract is a relatively new term. I will not go into details of this. It has its rules. There is also an open data contract standard for anyone who is interested in this. But important thing is that this data contract is not a mere Microsoft Word document. It could start this way, but actually it gets implemented. So it's kind of a quality, let's say, quality check of a data being exposed to the rest of the organization with all these elements, SLA and everything else. So this is my final slide, and I'll just give you one more perspective of the importance of understanding these pains in business process. So each pain has some kind of consequence for the organization. It has some kind of impact, and these impacts of pains are all the ones that we discovered just from this one business process. And you can see that it has a huge impact. The missing of this governance has a huge impact for the organization. And you could really make it turn around if you find the right places to fit in these data governance elements, and you could turn around these pains and this impact of pains to real business value. So I'll leave it here. And if anyone is interested in more details, you can find Josip and me outside. And I'd like to thank once again Josip's team and Croatian Telecom for having us guide their teams within this introduction of data governance to such an enterprise organization. And yeah, I don't know if we have any...
Yeah, we'll check. Thank you. A round of applause for the guys. So, do we have any questions? Yes, Dalibor.
What was the hardest part in implementing this in the organization? Was there any resistance in the organization, and where was the most resistance?
Yeah, okay. Shall I answer?
Hardest part is explaining to the people how important this is to us. So people are separated in sectors, and each sector has its own goals. You know, I want to have correct bills, this is controlling, this is whatever business parts, and to bring them all to the same table to have the same common goal. And actually the topic now that is very hot for us for the last several months is the one that activated the entire company. It's actually roaming part. So apps that are successful, that are managing in bringing customer attention to them, are actually cross-industry. And we know an app like Revolut, which started as a simple, easy banking thing, went to investment thing because they got customer attention, they were relevant. Then they understood that they can sell travel and booking and whatever. Then they went into it. And now they are selling eSIMs. Now they are actually taking our market from us because they are very good app, they are relevant to the customers love them, and now they are selling everything. They are taking away from banks their revenue, from us our revenue, and now we actually, this is the focal point, this is one of maybe the best example how actually company understood that we now cannot live our lives outside of everything. We are on the customer smartphone, and this is the fight where we need to be, and this is the enabler that we need. So this was the hardest part, to explain to everybody actually that we need to be on the same topic, that we don't have 5 different topics in the company.
Yeah, I would like to add just one aspect, and this is this data governance, data ownership perspective. So in the beginning, people start to, it's logical, people are afraid. It's kind of a new task for people, and nobody wants to take it. Understanding that you don't need to employ new people that will be only data owners. It's basically you have these guys in your organization, but assigning these roles, this was challenging part.
Did we answer the question? Great. Thank you very much, guys. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you.